Trump suggests U.S. intelligence chief should go back to school because he knows more about Iran.
Wonderful.
Okay.
I'm sure that's true.
Donald Trump has lambasted the U.S. Intelligence community as extremely passive and naive when it comes to the dangers of Iran, after top officials contradicted the president's claims surrounding the foreign adversary and North Korea's nuclear ambitions. The intelligence people seem to be extremely passive and naive when it comes to the dangers of Iran, the president tweeted. They are wrong. When I became president, Iran was making trouble all over the Middle East and beyond. Since ending the terrible Iran nuclear deal, they are much different, but a source of potential danger and conflict. They are testing rockets last week and more, and are coming very close to the edge, he added. Their economy is now crashing, which is the only thing holding them back. Be careful of Iran.
Well, their economy is crashing for obvious reasons. I mean, they're investing so heavily into this program. And I mean, the U.S., and we've gone back and forth with this, but it's always, I feel it just, like these stories always miss like what's going on in that region of the world. I mean, we have a bunch of Islamic extremists that want to get fucking nuclear capabilities and missiles. And I mean, people say pull out of that deal, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really know if the right answer was to pull out of the deal or not, but it's kind of hard to believe that these people are just going to suddenly stop.
I kind of side with not pulling from the deal because there was no evidence that they broke any part of the deal. But, whatever. Trump's going to do what Trump's going to do. What do you make of the idea that Trump is smarter on this issue than the intelligence chiefs?
Ridiculous.
I think that it's such a missed opportunity. People don't understand how to deal with Trump on this. Let him say something like that and then pitch to him like a game show where it's like, who knows more about Iran? President Trump or top intelligence official John Stoltworth or whatever the fuck, and I put him up against this dude and give him he'll crumble on the first question. The first question, okay. Get your hands on your buzzers, gentlemen. Mohammed al-Faisal al-Baghdadi al-Tikriti claimed to be from Muad'Dib, but was actually from this much smaller and lesser known...
Beep, beep. What is Transylvania?
I'm sorry, Mr. Trump, that's incorrect.
Fake news. I know more. It's Transylvania.
Dude, except Trump would sniff that shit out in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Trump would never go on that show.
Mr. Jameson, would you like to take the answer?
Unavailable.
That would be al-Baghdadi. That is correct. Yes, the small trading port of al-Baghdadi.
Wrong.
Fake.
Wrong.
Let's go to al-Baghdadi. Let's have a meet up there.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second.
Trump doesn't know the first fucking thing about Iran. I doubt his ability to pick it out on a map that's not labeled.
Agreed.
Probably. All right, next Trump story. How the Republican-controlled Congress failed President Trump. Let's see. To hear the White House and Republican leaders on Capitol Hill tell it, they just concluded the 115th Congress. The just concluded 115th Congress was a masterclass in bipartisan achievements. What? The numbers suggest something altogether different. Despite Republicans having unified control of all three political levers, the White House, the House, and the Senate, President Trump and Congress notched the second worst start to any newly elected administration in modern political history, according to the Washington Times Legislative Activity Index. Congress wrote fewer laws, held fewer formal White House/Senate negotiations, and was near the bottom on several key yardsticks in the Senate, a reflection of Democrats' ability to flex their filibuster power to delay Mr. Trump. Records date back to just after World War II, and in those 72 years, the only President George W. Bush had a worse legislative start, and he faced a Democratic majority in the Senate and most of the first Congress. Analysts said that given the closely divided numbers in the Senate and deep antipathy towards Mr. Trump among, click to read more, okay, among Democrats who had the power to filibuster, it was perhaps inevitable that he would struggle to see his agenda get done. So basically, they're basically just saying that Trump really didn't accomplish too much in his first 2 years, despite his constant bloviating and bragging.
What is the Republicans' obsession with wanting to literally elect the fucking worst possible people in their fucking party to this office? Like, we have Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, George W. Bush, and now Donald Trump.
Not to stand in defense of the Republican establishment, but if you'll remember, right before Trump won the nomination, they all revolted against him. Like pretty much all the like you can go and find Lindsey Graham talking about Trump like he's a stupid buffoon.
Oh, the establishment did. I mean, fucking
so it's like
Paul
a lot
Ryan.
of them
Paul Ryan
didn't even
didn't even meet with Trump literally until it was like he's going to be the nominee, and they knew they had to live with him. But
that's why nothing got done. Because even though Donald Trump was a GOP nominee, he was not a leader of the party. The party,
Oh,
the
no,
party he
definitely
was
not.
trying to lead fucking hated him from the get-go. And were looking to paint him out as a buffoon, just like the other side of the fucking aisle was. And he gave them ample opportunity to do it by acting like a buffoon constantly.
I mean, dude, he just literally has a fanatical following. Like the people that it's like a religious experience because like whatever he does, it's just like yeah, it's fine. It's like I mean, look, when we actually examine the facts, it's almost the Trump's almost always at the bottom of these polls and metrics. But it's like you ask his supporters, and it's like he is the best president of our lifetime.
That's because so much of their ego is wrapped up in Trump. Like that's really what's left of Trump's base is just the people that have assigned their ego to him as like this avatar.
Yeah.
He is me in Washington. So therefore, everything that bad that comes out of him is just a dirty trick somebody's trying to sling mud at. You know what I mean? Because and that's really what it's come down to. The people that are still supporting Trump at this point are people that have just attached all of their identity and their ego, and they cannot eat crow. They're not willing to walk it back and go like, all right, guys, maybe I was wrong. Maybe. And that's all it is now. There's no way to convince people that are in that position.
I mean, but you don't think some of them are true believers of this agenda and like like they just believe
maybe there's a sprinkling of that, but even those,
I think there's a lot more of those.
I think there's
than Paul thinks.
I
there
think
are.
there's a lot of sycophants to Trump that just believe he's the only one fighting to protect this country because like he's kind of a soul that is like, he just stole Ronald Reagan's fucking campaign slogan. It's like make America great again. It's like it seems with Republicans we always kind of get that it's like the return to the glory years of like this yesteryear of like the 1950s when
it's gonna be beautiful.
we had these just great family units and everyone was prosperous and we're gonna have that again. This prosperity is right around the corner. It's like this. It's like going to a multi-level marketing presentation and their side is always just selling like you're gonna have the dream life if you just go with us.
I don't know.
This ideal
Trump's approval
country and ideal.
I
life.
mean, 39.5% approval rate at this point, which is pretty dismal, but I mean, that's
Obama
still
had low ones.
Yeah, that's still 40% of the country that looks at this fucking totally inept buffoon and says, "Yep, good job."
So you're telling
That's
me
still 4 in
Well,
10
it's
people
team
being
sports.
like, "Yeah."
It's team sports, dude.
So you're telling me that 4 in 10 people might be fucking functionally borderline retarded?
Oh yeah.
yes,
At least.
at
Wow.
least, dude.
4 in 10 at least.
Man, I'm telling you,
That's a
I wish I was
conservative
shocked.
estimate.
I wish I was shocked by that
I do too.
because I'm not. Going out in public is like an illustration of that number. In fact, I think it's skewed on the low end.
Maybe.
That's honestly the truth.
Well,
Oh, no, I agree
You
with
have to
you.
remember too. There's plenty of retards that oppose Trump too.
I don't
reflexively.
even mean to demean actually fucking retarded people. What I'm talking about is just people who the fucking public education system failed them. The mass media has failed them in being informed about anything. Because that's who you're supposed to turn to be informed about the basics about what's going on in the world, but that's not what's provided to us in the mass media anymore. So you've got this whole 2 or 3 generations of people that have come through a functionally non-functional public education system, had no access to higher education, and are informed by shitty news agencies that are more focused on selling you ass cream than they are telling you what's really going on in the goddamn world. More focused on creating a soap opera where there isn't one than telling you what's actually going on in the goddamn world. And we're reaping the fucking benefits of this. How many news stories are done? How many times you hear pundits and thinkers talking about low information voters? What do you think the end result of that is? 40% of the country that want to see America be further embarrassed by having this buffoon at the head of it. This capitulator in chief. This dude that goes before avowed enemies of the United States and capitulates to these men. Openly, like I'm not even fucking, like I'm not over dramatizing it. He literally goes to enemies of the United States and gets on his knees and capitulates to them. What do you think's gonna happen?